Many top drivers have gathered in Belfast for the start of this European qualifier. 3 times winner Jimmy McRae is first off. He knows the circuit is crucial to his British Open chances. The forest rounds are now dominated by the Quattros. Finnish wonder boy Juha Kankkunen is in the Group A Toyota. In this marathon event, experience is vital, as Billy Coleman knows.
As I say, I have a lot of experience on the event, and it's so long this year. I think that should count for a lot. So after that, it's in the lap of the gods, really.
Well, I've never seen Billy so relaxed, so organised, and it really looks like a man that could do very, very well on this event.
Austin McHale's Manta 400 is expected to be very fast. Unfortunately, his co-driver Christy Farrell has a severe dose of flu. Day 1 is spent in the north. On Saturday, they head south through Dublin to Waterford. Monday sees the long trek home through the Midlands and finally back across Northern Ireland to Belfast by Tuesday afternoon. McRae sets an electrifying pace from the start. In hot pursuit is the Finnish star Henri Toivonen in the Rothmans Porsche. A Group A Golf GTI is a little more tame. Chris Lord's high seeding is about to cause problems for Bertie Fisher, who's closing fast. A former Ulster Rally winner, Bertie excels on pace notes. Winston Henry is losing valuable time due to a rear puncture. For some, it's an early and unexpected ride home. Russell Brooks and Mike Broad, last year's winners, have only lasted 1 mile into the first stage. A broken prop shaft is the reason, and the Andrews Heat for Hire Manta makes its way back to Belfast. For Brooks and Broad, it's curtains. Kankkunen has lost over 2 minutes in stage 1. The Finnish driver hit a boulder, which took off a rear wheel. With only 7 of the 55 stages completed, the rally leaders have taken a severe beating. McRae's Manta crashed through a wooden fence on stage 5 and suffered severe body damage. He still leads, but Fisher is only 1 minute behind. The German ace, Harald Demuth, is holding his Quattro in 3rd place, and Billy Coleman is 4th. Toivonen hit a wall on stage 2, dropped to 15th. He's now charged back up to 6th. By the last stage of the day, the rally leader McRae is in serious trouble. Jimmy's earlier crash is beginning to take its toll of the car, and a telltale wisp of steam signifies that his head gasket has blown. Jimmy will lose the lead to Fisher before reaching Belfast, and an Ulster crew leads the circuit after the first day. Saturday, and McRae is out. The Manta's engine gave up 2 miles from the end of the Sally Gap stage. Demuth's Audi is pushed down to 3rd place by Toivonen's charging Porsche. The Finn is about to catch the leader, Bertie Fisher. Coleman's Manta in 4th place lost 2.5 minutes on Sally Gap with a puncture. Up to 7th is ex-Hot Rod World Champion Davy Evans in a Nissan 240 RS. The The second last stage before resting in Waterford, Toivonen has taken the lead by 3 seconds. But sadly, Fisher's Opel Manta has stopped on this stage with a broken axle and only a faint chance of meeting his service crew back at the nearest access point.
Well, Bertie, your best ever chances of winning the circuit, and now you're out. How do you feel?
Well, it's a bit of a blow. I think we have either a differential or a half shaft failure. It's one of those things.
Easter Sunday, and Harold Demuth, who was second overnight, will no longer challenge the Porsche. The Audi's Turbo gave up on stage 24. The Porsche now has an incredible lead of over 5 minutes. Austin McHale in third is trying hard to catch Billy Coleman. Others are trying just a little too hard. Eventually, the Group A boys, Alan Johnston and Bobby Willis, get it right. The Rothmans Porsche cruises on trouble-free. But a tremendous battle is going on for top Irish honours. This is Billy Coleman in second place. And in third, the other Opel Manta, Dublin driver Austin McHale, is only 1 minute behind. Ernest Kidney is in fourth as he tosses his Robin Lyons' own Sunbeam Lotus through the streets of Stradbally. On Monday, rally leader Toivonen is in pain with a severely strained ankle he picked up in a celebrity kart race in Waterford. Coleman now realises that Henry's karting follies have given him a great chance for his third circuit win. McHale is equally hungry for his first and is only 43 seconds behind Billy. Stage 35 and drama once again. There's no sign of the Porsche, and Coleman comes through as the new leader. McHale is very close behind and sets the fastest time on this stage. Ernest Kidney holds a strong lead over Davy Evans for fourth place. Eventually, the Porsche appears. Its gearbox is jamming and there's no replacement in the service barge. Toivonen's stage time will be well over 20 minutes compared to McHale's 11. And to add insult to injury, Henry is about to be overtaken by Julian Roderick. With the Porsche out of the way, at least for the moment, both the dealer Opel Team Ireland Mantas lead the circuit. McHale now knows that it's probable that he will battle with Coleman for the greatest prize in Irish rallying. But battles are not only fought for the lead, as Russell Gooding's Chevette reminds us. Meanwhile, Toivonen's troubles continue, but miraculously, he is holding on to third place. Indeed, it's doubtful if this gearbox will last another day. The final day of the rally. During the night, McHale took the lead from Coleman and now has over 1 minute's advantage. The Porsche finally went when time ran out for the mechanics while changing the gearbox. The strain of the rally shows on the leaders.
Obviously a very tired and fairly drained man at the moment.
Well, fairly tired, anyways. I don't know about drained. I've had the flu since the starting yesterday morning. And not feeling too well now, okay, but I had a fairly good run all day yesterday, last night, with no problems with the car. The car went very well. The lads did a very good job in keeping it going, and you know, we're very happy to be here at the moment anyway.
Well, it's been a bad night, yeah. The toughest stages I've ever seen on the circuit. Very hard, and even on the crew, which is unusual, because we landed very heavily on a jump, and I've strained my back, and I must say my driving has gone off since as well, you know, so it's been a hell of a tough night.
You were absolutely flying from the second day onwards in this rally. Everything was just going absolutely perfect. Getting into Galway last night, it was really looking good.
Yes, and I maintained all the time that we were probably driving too quickly, bearing in mind the amount of mileage that was ahead of us. But, well, mind you, there's still 50 miles to go and anything could happen yet, but at this point it looks as if I might have played the wrong tactics, so who's to say?
The first stage out of Letterkenny, and McHale has victory within his sights. But Coleman is not beaten yet, and incredibly he is to take 23 seconds off McHale's lead on this 12-mile stage. Almost unbelievably though, we learn that McHale has stopped with a blown engine, only 3 stages from the finish. Coleman cruises home with the nearest challenger 20 minutes behind. For Davy Evans, it's still a dream. To be third in your very first rally is an outstanding performance. The last 60 minutes have brought amazing changes.
I spoke to him Letterkenny, and I wasn't in the best of form, mind you, but I figured, you know, there was 50 miles to go, about 90 seconds in it or whatever, and I decided I'd give it one more go. So on the next test we took about half a minute back, which, you know, did us a lot of good, and the gap was down probably a minute or less then.
Only 36 cars have survived. Those in the honours include Davy Evans and Roy Kernahan in the Nissan 240 RS. Ernest Kidney and Seamus McCanny in the Sunbeam Lotus. And Billy Coleman with Ronan Morgan, the winners of the 1984 Circuit of Ireland. The Cork man joins the ranks of Hopkirk, Clark, Brooks and McRae as a 3 times winner of the circuit, and co-driver Ronan gets his first international victory.
It did, because it really was a wonderful victory for Billy Coleman. And when the excitement had died down a little, Michael O'Carroll tracked down the winning crew of Billy Coleman and his Dublin co-driver Ronan Morgan and talked to them about the 4-day marathon. First, Billy Coleman.
Well, in many ways I think it was the most extraordinary event yet. I've done 15 of them at this point, and really from the time I saw the map of the route at the beginning, I said this really is a tough one. So we discussed our strategy, Ronan and I, at the beginning, and we decided definitely it was one to be played at a very steady pace rather than going crazy on the first day, and it's a tactic that seems to have paid off at the end.
How important is this win to you now?
Well, it's very important because obviously I haven't been in much prominence in the last couple of years. I've been on the sidelines really, and this year I was lucky enough to get into a good team with a good car, a great car really, and you know, we've had the luck to win the biggest event of the year early in the year, which is marvellous for the rest of the season. So we're absolutely over the moon about the whole thing.
Ronan, you've won your first Circuit of Ireland with Billy Coleman.
That's right, Michael.
Yeah, what sort of a driver is he to sit beside? Maybe you tell us how he operates.
That's a very difficult question, but I would say that he's a very canny type of driver. A lot of drivers have good outright speed, but I think someone who can pace themselves is really what counts at the end of the day. And he was able to do this very successfully this weekend.
Now, what sort of tactics did you develop? Did you change your tactics through the rally, or did you develop new ones, or what?
Well, we had to change our tactics from time to time as the leaderboard changed from time to time. It was really, well, of course, yes, we got a puncture on Sally Gap, which lost us 3.5 to 4 minutes. We actually had to stop and change the wheel on Sally Gap. And then we really had to change our tactics. We had to go very hard after that. The main thing, I think, over this weekend was to try and conserve the car. This paid off very well for us in that we were the only car out of the top 10 seeds to finish. So the attrition rate on the rally was unbelievable this year. Of course, it's been the longest stage mileage in the Circuit of Ireland for a long number of years.
Back to you, Billy. The last night was seemingly a vicious night. Maybe you'd tell us about some of the stages.
Yeah, well, we left Galway about 10 o'clock, and we were headed into 15, 16 hours of driving without a break, which actually added up to something like 160 miles of flat-out motoring, which again is the length of many smaller international events, you know. So there was a hell of a night's driving, and over really the roughest terrain in the country, and again at night time where the lights don't pick out the hazards as well as in daylight, and it was really grueling experience, and obviously the smallest mistake would have put you out. You know, we had everything except rain or fog, but I mean the roads were so bad that it made up for any.
But you also had a battle with your teammate, Austin McHale.
That's right, yes, and that went on hot and heavy for 8-10 hours. And swapping times every second stage, and really even going into the last 5 after Letterkenny, after we left Donegal, we had about 50 miles to go, something like a minute, you know, slightly over a minute in the balance, and I reckon at that time people said I was very depressed, but I still felt, you know, that the circuit being what it is, and that I could do it, and you know, I still reckon at that time there was everything to play for, and on the next stage we took back a half a minute, well, 25 seconds, and that really put us back in the hunt. And of course Austin's engine went shortly after that, and that really was the deciding factor then.
Was this your biggest and best victory to date? Now, you've been rallying since 1968.
Well, I would certainly say it was one of the most hard-earned, and it was, from my own point of view, driving-wise, it was absolutely ideal, because I have been saying from the beginning of the year that I needed a lot of driving to a lot of events to get my driving up to par, but I think after this it was so long and tough, and I had to fight every bit of the way, that it has done an enormous for my driving. So I hope that will be reflected in the coming events.
Well, brings the ranks of Hopkirk, Clark, Brooks and McRae as a 3 times winner of the circuit, and co-driver Ronan gets his first international victory. Austin McHale, last year's Cork winner, leads off for the start of this 2-day event. The Dublin crew are particularly anxious to do well after failing to finish in the Ulster. But Billy Coleman is on home territory, and he's going to take some beating, judging by his performances so far this season. Right from stage one, McHale sets a fast pace. But Coleman is really flying and takes the early lead. Dublin driver Brendan Fagan is taking time to settle in. He hasn't raced for some months. Richie Healy may look lost, but sadly the clutch is gone in his Escort, and he's the first major retirement. Fagan, however, has no such trouble and throws his Chevette around these early stages in great style. But the two Dealer Opel Team Ireland Mantas will not be easily caught. Donegal's James Cullen is really enjoying himself. And ex-Hot Rod champion Davy Evans holds a superb fourth. Sam Hawkins is unhappy with his interpretation of the pace notes and thinks he would be quicker driving blind. A good turn done by a spectator is soon undone by AJ Keating's front bumper. At service outside Mallow, the news is that Billy's lead has been cut by McHale.
Austin is certainly going hard this morning, and he's a man you can never afford to let away too far, so I've got to keep that in mind. And it's tricky enough out there. I mean, the sun is shining, but under trees and that it's quite slippery where you can't see it, so it's dodgy enough in patches.
The quiet village of Kilvollen is about to be awakened by the sound of the two Opel Mantas, which continue to pull away from the rest of the field. McHale is giving it everything he's got. Although quickest on 5 of the 7 stages so far, Coleman's lead is but a narrow one. Behind them, the battle for third is raging between Davy Evans and this man, Brendan Fagan. James Cullen in 5th goes off the road on a later stage and drops to 7th. Even the lower seeds seem to be setting a blistering pace. A sudden change of weather, though, slows Pat Dunyon's Sunbeam. But it takes more than a drop of rain to keep the locals indoors. On stage 11, Coleman gets a rapturous welcome from his home fans and increases his lead to almost a minute. Austin has spun his Opel on the previous stage after taking a gamble on dry weather tyres, not suited for these damp conditions. But Billy is in a confident mood now, having set 9 fastest times on the first day. But McHale in 2nd is never far behind. Sunday morning, Billy has slightly increased his lead during the night. But after Coleman goes through, there's no sign of his teammate McHale. Instead, Brendan Fagan appears. His Chevette has suffered slight damage from a pothole. Also struck by the same fate is James Cullen's Ford. For Dan Daly, though, 2 corners in quick succession is a bit too much. Eventually, McHale appears after having sheared off his oil pump belt on an earlier stage. He's now running late after having it repaired. The Dublin driver goes flat out and pulls himself back to within a minute of Coleman. Fagan, outpowered by the Mantas, is content to hold his Chevette in 3rd place with no serious challenge close behind him. So, as on the circuit, it ends up as a straight fight between the 2 Opel teammates. Their mastery is keeping this event bristling with excitement. Fagan suddenly realises that he must increase his pace to maintain a safe distance between himself and ex-hot rod maestro Davy Evans, who's been making a late charge and narrowing the gap in his Nissan 240 RS. Ironically, Davy himself is being caught by one of the DOTI Mantas. The final stage of the 1984 Cork 20. The two Opals have demonstrated their superiority over the rest of the field. Coleman's lead of over a minute looks safe now, and the popular Cork man is on course for a home win. Austin McHale can be well satisfied with another second place, because on this type of form, Coleman's ability just has to be respected. Brendan Fagan has driven well to consolidate his third place. And Davy Evans concludes another solid performance with a fourth place, while still a rally novice. Sadly though, this is the last time we will see the extraordinary rallying talents of Davy in action. The young County Antrim driver was tragically killed in a road accident later in the year. Motorsport will never know the full extent of that loss. At the finish ceremony outside Jury's Hotel in Cork City, Billy Coleman and Ronan Morgan prepare to spray the winner's champagne for the third time in 1984.